All right, guys, you're watching StatChat Sports. You're here for the weekly AFL podcast. Up now, this is a segment that we've been waiting to do for a while. This is the mid-season review, and we're looking at our All Australian team. Now, we've got BT, we've got Tazza, Steve in the twos for this one. What we're doing is we've all gone away separately, compiled our All Australian teams, and now we're coming on together to debate it, to discuss it, to arrive at a consensus, fellas, the StatChat Best 22. BT, you're a big man on the stats. I know you put a lot of work into this.
Yeah, I kind of. I'm gonna lie, I didn't really put that much thought into it.
I'm trying to give you a bit of
Yeah, I know, but I can't go along with that.
I'm trying to give you a bit of a beat up here, but that's okay. Don't worry about it. Tazza, I know you've put the hard work in as well, so I'm sure that we're going to come together and put up a very convincing 22 here.
Yeah, mate. Look, I've put a bit of work in. I think I've done my part, and yeah, I think we're going to come up with a cracking team.
Oh, that's good. And don't worry about Steve. I'm pretty sure he just copy-pasted the All-Australian team from afl.com.au. So that's all good. Don't worry about that. What I've got now is a graphic on the screen, and this is the 14 players that all four of us agree on. So running from the back line of the forward line, we have got Stephen May, Sam Doherty, Doherty, however you want to pronounce it, Jack Sinclair, James Sicily, Ed Langdon, Lockie Neal, Maxi Gawn, Clayton Oliver, Andrew Brayshaw, Bailey Smith on a half-forward flank. We'll touch on that. A little bit debatable. Charlie Cameron, Jeremy Cameron, and on the bench, Callum Mills and Paddy Cripps. All four of us had them in our team. They are locked. They are in. They are done. So what we're going to do is we're going to work from back to front. We're going to fill in the missing pieces of the puzzle and come up with our full 22. All right. So, fellas, back pocket. What we're looking for here is a second tall, a third tall, an intercepting player, a tall defender, basically. Now, we've got Stephen May, we've got James Sicily, but we couldn't agree on the third. So here are our options. We've got Harris Andrews from the Brisbane Lions. He's had a pretty good season as the number one key defender for those blokes. Tom Stewart. Tom Stewart is a third tall intercept marker. He got picked in 3 of our 4 teams. And Jacob Wiedering from the Blues, he got picked in half of our teams. Tazza, if you had to pick one of those blokes, who do you like and why?
I'm going to go with my pick. I'm going to back him. Tom Stewart. I think his ability to intercept and distribute, I love it. Not necessarily noted for his one-on-one defending, but his ability to intercept and read the ball for me is as good as there is in the comp at the moment.
Completely agree. That's who I had in my team as well. Harris Andrews is overrated in my opinion, so
Yep.
he's out of it for me. And I don't mind Wiedering, but I think Tom Stewart needs to be there.
Yeah, look, I was the only one that didn't have Tom Stewart, and that's because I had Harris Andrews, because I like his one-on-one work down there. So I've been outvoted. I've been overruled. Tom Stewart is going in, back pocket, third tall, lock it in. He's done. Half-back flank. We've got a few options here, fellas, and this one I think is going to be interesting. Callum Wilkie from the Saints. He was picked in one of our teams as a nice lockdown defender. So a nice little sneaky pick there. Jaden Short was also picked in one of our teams. So he could be playing off a half-back flank, but has also had a little bit of midfield time. And Daniel Rich, he was picked in 2 of the 4 teams, the big left foot off the half-back flank. BT, out of those 3, we need to pick one. Who do you like?
Daniel Rich. And I've got a stat for you on this one. Average 24 disposals at 84% efficiency.
Ooh.
Yep.
Still quality he is. Even how many games he's played, the age of him, he's still a top quality halfback and distributor off. Kicking, just that left foot is still as good as it's ever been.
Tazza, you're nodding. You're happy with this?
Yeah, that was my pick as well. I had him there. Another stat, it can be sometimes a convoluted stat, but first in meters gained coupled with his 84% efficiency rate. Why not? How can you leave him out?
Okay,
Who do you have, Josh?
I went for Callum Wilkie, and
I
I know you hate this because you hate the Saints, but Callum Wilkie has been the best one-on-one medium lockdown defender in the comp. Now, I want to build this team to be balanced. I want to build it to play a game. And as far as I'm concerned, we've got too many rebounding halfback flankers in this team. This is not going to stand up. Who's playing on Charlie Cameron? Who's playing on him? Tell me, fellas.
Tom Stewart.
Nah, you'll get towed up. You'll get towed up. So that's
Very
why,
towed up by him.
Yeah, he has.
so that's why I was really a fan to get a lockdown defender. Clearly, nobody else was. No one else respects the dirty work and respects the roles, but I do, and I like it. And Callum Wilkie is hands down being the best one-on-one medium-sized defender in the competition. I don't think you fellas can disagree with that.
I just don't think it's good enough compared to the other players. Don't get me wrong, you've obviously done your research on him. I haven't. I did not even consider him at all. Yeah, it's just no one has stood out in that small to medium type defender role for me personally.
I don't mind the pick. I did consider it. He has been, I think he's been much improved, but I'm not sure he's above the rest of the guys there. But for the balance, I do rate the pick.
Not enough to pick it, though.
Not over Rich, no.
Okay. So there you go. I've been outvoted. It's Daniel Rich. And if you're a Saints fan and you want to attack BT, here's your opportunity. Get into him because we love that.
Saints TV, bring it on.
Now, wingers. We are very big on picking players in their positions. There was a couple of people that put Bailey Smith on the wing and we weren't overly happy with that because it's not his spot. We've got Ed Langdon there. We've got one wing vacant. And we've got a couple of options here, fellas. Blake Acres, he was picked in two of the teams, and I didn't pick him, but I do like that pick. The other option, Jordan Dawson from the Crows, very much up there in metres gained this year, and he was the wingman that I picked in my team. But fellas, which one of you picked Blake Acres, or was it both of yours?
I went with Blake Acres. I reckon he's up there. Did you as well, Tazza?
Yeah, I did. I think our
So
teams
we've
are
just
identical.
This is seems like. So I think you've been outvoted here again.
Yeah,
Josh.
I'm fighting an uphill battle here.
I swear we haven't come together at all.
No.
We have not talked a second about this. So
No,
We
this is-
all
Craig
sent our
Washington,
teams
I think.
through privately.
It's a
To
stitch
Josh,
up.
we all sent them
Yeah.
through.
It's an absolute stitch up, fellas. I'm not happy with it. Tazza, tell us about Blake Acres. What have you liked about his game this year? Because he's really come out of nowhere in a new role.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the stats behind it, but judging by the eye, he passes the eye test for me. I mean, he is hitting, from what I can say, I don't have the stats in front of me, but consistently hitting good stats throughout the game. I mean, he's a big reason why Freo have really been able to reinvent themselves this season. Longmuir has just put all his time, well, not all his time and effort, but a good deal of time and effort into cementing Acres on that wing. And to me, he's one of the premier wingmen in the comp.
All right, look, I'm happy to concede again. This is 3 from 3 here. I've been outvoted. I'm going to need to get one of my blokes in the team at some point. I think it's going to be the forward line. So Blake Acres onto a wing. Aside from that, the midfield, we're pretty much in agreement on. So I think everybody's got the same mix of blokes through there. So we're pretty happy. Forward line, half forward flank. Now, fellas, we need to get a consensus on this. We've got Bailey Smith here now. Now, that's a little bit of a speculative pick because we don't like picking midfielders not in their position here. So let's make sure our other half forward flank is a genuine forward or plays on that half forward flank. And I've got a few options to consider here, fellas. Zach Bailey from the Lions. He was picked in half of the teams. 27 goals so far through the year. He's been very good. Another Bailey Fritsch from Melbourne. He was also picked in half the teams. And Shai Bolton also getting a mention. Again, a guy that's been in the midfield, but he's spent a lot of time forward. So, Tazza, is there a man out of that lot that you like for the half forward flank?
Look, Zach Bailey was my pick. I think he drifts into the middle. Obviously, Brisbane's midfield is quite fluent at the moment. I mean, Rayner gets a run. You got McCluggage, Sorko, Neal. It lines it all. It's very fluent. But he's chipping in with a lot of goals. I think he's high 20s at the moment. He might be 28, 29.
Yeah, 27 I thought he had, but he's certainly one of the best non-key forwards.
Absolutely. And the fact that I think he's averaging about 18 disposals a game. So couple that with his average of goals, I think it's a pretty tidy return. And the fact he's forward, the half forward is about where he'd sit.
BT, you happy with this? Because I had him in my team, so that means that you didn't.
Nah, I had Fritsch in this one. Purely, this was the one where I was tossing up between. I don't mind Zach Bailey, so I can go with that. The only thing, because we have Bailey Smith on the other half forward flank, he's that guy who pushes up as that extra midfielder for me. And then you have like a Doctor who pushes up from the half back as an extra midfielder, as a defensive midfielder. So having Fritsch as more of that start home half forward type, that's why I went with Fritsch.
Okay, well, I think we lock in Zach Bailey here. We have got a few other spots for forwards. We've got a few other spots.
Accepting it.
Been outvoted, BT.
Protest.
So Zach Bailey on a half forward flank. We've got a few other forward spots. So we might say Fritsch on the field or maybe on the bench. But let's go to the second key forward. The only key forward that we all agreed on was Jeremy Cameron. So he's locked in at full forward. Now, in terms of the key forward stakes, we've got a few decisions to make. First one is, do we just go with two big gorillas or do we pick a third? And then the next question becomes, who do we pick? So the options we've got, Max King, he was voted in 3 of the 4 teams. Charlie Curnow was voted in 3 of the 4 teams. And the Tomahawk, he was in 2 of the 4 teams. So, fellas, the first question is, are we going top heavy? Are we going 3 big, tall forwards? And are they all on the field?
I think we have to. I think the key forwards have been pretty dominant this season. Other than Charlie Cameron as your small forward, there hasn't really been anyone else other than these key forwards. So, mate, I had Charlie Curnow, and then I was tossing up between King and Hawkins, and I went with King because I don't like Hawkins. That's the only reason.
Exactly the same as me.
Well, I'll tell you what, I had the Tomahawk, and here's the reason why. Because I don't have a second ruck, because I don't think there's a second ruck that's deserving of a place in the team. And Tomahawk gives me the best sort of, pinch hitting in the ruck option there is. But that's why I went the Tomahawk, and the fact that he's been really good this year as well.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I think ruckmen are overrated, to be honest with you. So look at Port Adelaide playing Finn Layson as a ruck on the weekend just gone. Yeah, and they nearly got a win. So
Port Adelaide's given up on their season, haven't they, hasn't?
Yeah, I think they have. I mean, the CEO's come out and said Ken's contracted to 2023, and that put a dagger through my heart. But yeah, I think it's a foregone conclusion that they're not making the 8, basically, and it's to give the young kids a go. For me.
All right, well, let's not get sidetracked by Port Adelaide because they're nowhere near this team. Let's sort out this ruck situation first, because I think this is going to dictate a fair bit. Are we going a second ruck or are we going no second ruck? Because I think if we just go the one ruck, then we need a key forward that can pinch hit, in my opinion.
Charlie Curnow's played ruck in the past, but I can... Who plays... Surely Tomahawk doesn't go into the centre, though.
No.
Plays a second ruck.
No, Maxi just doesn't go past halfway and just lets Tomahawk take anything that's in the forward line.
Yes, I just don't think that matters, to be honest with you. I don't think it matters who's in the ruck when it's inside forward 50.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay, so in your opinion then, we're having Charlie Curnow and Max King starting in our final 2 spots in the forward line on the field. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, that's it. That's what we're going with.
And no second ruck.
No second ruck.
We might get exposed here, but I like it. All right, very good. Forward line is locked in. We've got 2 spots left. We've got 2 midfielders on the bench. Do you think we should have an extra defender and an extra forward? Is that the balance here? Because I don't want just a midfield bench. I mean, that's just boring. We're not here for that.
All right. Yeah, we can do that. We'll do that.
Do we go your man Bailey Fritsch? Do we give him a Guernsey, BT? on the bench?
I think we have to. Obviously we can't go for another key forward. So I can't think of any other forward we would do. And we're not playing one of those midfield forwards as well, because we've already got Bailey Smith there.
Taz, are you happy with this? Bailey Fritsch?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and it gives you, if you want to play it a bit differently with the structure, I think he's a good point of difference.
All right. So if we're going with one final defender, can we go with my man Callum Wilkie? Does he sneak in, or do you want to go someone else?
Do we need someone who's better one-on-one? And do we chuck in a Wiedering? And does he make the bench, or
pretty top heavy then?
Wiedering?
I just don't want to be too top heavy.
In my starting 22, I had Wiedering there.
He didn't get in mine, but I don't know how you leave out Wiedering for Wilkie.
I think the backline's too top heavy. I mean, you'd have Stephen May, Sicily, Tom Stewart, and Wiedering. That's a very tall backline.
I don't know.
Well, depending on what team you're coming up against.
Yeah, I think Doherty's he's not short of a bit of pace. May and Stewart are your pillars, and then you've got Sinclair, Sicily, and Rich. There's plenty of pace there. I don't think you're too tall. I think you can afford one more.
You want him?
Why outvoted again?
I think so. You're not getting your boy Wilkie in there.
No, it looks like I've been shafted. So we're going tall on the bench. Jacob Wiedering. Maybe Jacob Wiedering can play some ruck. Why not?
Maybe.
We've
got enough talls.
Throw him in the mix. Why not? There you go. So that's our best 22. That's the StatChat 22. We've done it, fellas. That's our All-Australian team. It's on the screen right now. I think it's right up there. I think it's going to do some damage. I think it's a one Callum Wilkie away from being an absolute top-notch lineup. But you can't have it all.
I don't think it's the StatChat All Australian. I think it's Tasman BT's 22.
That's what it seems.
So you didn't really get much of a shout there. You were just outnumbered the whole way.
I got Zach Bailey, and that's it. But I think Zach Bailey was getting it regardless. So yeah. I've been shafted, but that's okay. It's the Tasman BT show. That's what we do here. That's what we like to see. It's a good team. But in the comments, we want some feedback from our StatChat audience. If you disagree with some of the picks, if you're a Saints fan and you're a Callum Wilkie, if you're in the fan club for the man, let us know in the comments, because he deserves a spot in the team, in my opinion, and I would like a little bit of backup, but we're happy for all sorts of opinions. So let us know in the comments what you think of the StatChat mid-season All-Australian team. And by the way, this is not it for our mid-season reviews. We have got a jam-packed edition of the StatChat podcast next week. We're going to be reviewing all of our pre-season predictions and who we thought was going to go well and all the terrible calls that we've made. So this is just the beginning. So there's lots of mid-season review content coming out for the StatChat crew. So make sure you subscribe to stay up to date with all the content that we're going to be putting out.